Hi. So in this video, we have to go on with this introduction shit. In this video, I'm going to talk about the universe, etc., etc. Okay, we all get the point. In the last video, I talked about the origin of the universe, like God and stuff. Obviously, I'm going to keep talking about that because it's like a lot. We have the two aspects of the Supreme Being, Allah, which it's a lot like yin and yang. There are two parts, for lack of a better word, of God, and these two parts come together or separate, and that coming together, separating is the general process of everything that there is, well, creation. What was I going to talk about here? Oh, yeah. So, God is within our very lives. All things are a result of God. I think that's an assumption that is underappreciated, that ought to be specifically pointed out. Because we sort of think of God as like this distant king in some heavenly fluffy realm. God is in the dirt. God is the rocks. God is the shit, as well as the majesty of the galaxy. The same God is in everything. But we cannot forget that. And the reason we can't forget that is when we do forget that, a distance is created and an intimacy is lost that's essential to following God and to taking God to any degree seriously, in the sense that we follow what I believe to be faithful tenets of religion, and that's the whole reason for me doing this whole thing to begin with. So the intimacy of God, we'll focus on that. Before we discuss the process of like creation, how God coming together and separating creates everything. I can't get this. But how is that a relevant thing now? The production of the universe really comes in two forms. Okay, I should say the essential nature of the universe is in two forms that are good enough for now to focus on. And these two forms I've called, wait a minute, I don't know why it's hard to spell sideways. Is that a thing? Okay. Orders. Basically, there are two orders. The first order is what I've called the natural order. This natural order is what we see here. There's also another, slash. I also call it the immediate order. And the word immediate conjures up, the idea of something being quick or something like now, which is actually true, like, now. in reference to time. But I use the word immediate in this specific context in another way too. In that immediate meaning immediate. There is no middle. There's nothing between, say, us or our existence and this order. It's here and now. Like it's time, cause and effect. It's now. That's the immediate order. So the natural or immediate order is what is happening right now. Right here, right now. Everything going on is the immediate order. The second order that we're concerned with, I call the ultimate order. Can you read that? It really sucks. This could also be called the divine order. It, however works, whatever works. So you have the natural and immediate order, which is the natural world, the physical realm, and the ultimate or the divine order. The only difference between these two orders is time. And by time, I mean cause and effect. By time, I mean action and consequence. The sort of humdrum step of, moment to moment, what we're living. Birth, life, old age, death. The march. This is the counting, the time. So, in a way, everything. The ultimate order or the divine order is above and below all of this. It surrounds the natural order. The natural order is action and reaction. Like I said, cause and effect. It's basic. The natural order includes nature itself. Things like natural phenomenon, life, animals, the forces of nature, whether creative or destructive. All of that creation process we were talking about in the last video between El and Ah, who is God, the sort of first emergence of that is what we call the natural order, what's here. The ultimate order is what will be. What everything here is sort of going toward. If that makes sense. The process of creation is literally going toward the ultimate order in time. So, what is the ultimate order? The ultimate order would naturally, the ultimate order would naturally be if the original occurrence of creation, the origin of the universe, where everything came from, if that is this separation, coming together process of Allah, of God, then the ultimate order would be its completion. The final, so to speak, dance, the final union. Maybe in billions of years, I don't know, trillions even. It's basically the universe, if you could think of it in this way, the universe, the natural order, the immediate order, whatever it's called, the universe, is completed in the ultimate. we live this world of order and chaos, in this world of coming and going. We live in a storm. The ultimate order, so to speak, is the sunshine after the clouds have passed, if you want to look at it in a poetic sense. We live in the midst of the conflict, which is the immediate order, which is this process of God creating. The ultimate order is in reference to all of that being over, all of everything being complete. The reason there is existence in some is because nothing is complete. Everything is being completed. And that's what time is. That's what the process of action, reaction, cause and effect, yada yada, that's what it is. The universe completing itself. And that explains everything. That's what everything is. I mean, that's like, it sounds almost silly to say that's literally everything, but it is. It's literally everything. Everything is being completed. So, what drives this order, our current world, how things are, to this order, is what I would very generically call God's will. Because God's will, or the completion of God's will, say we're like here or whatever, the momentum of everything is toward the will of God. And that's where we get religion. That's sort of the gate or the door to religion, to why we even give a crap about any of this. Because the object of faith, the object of religion, is to try to the best of our capacity to discover, to discern this, the will of God. And to thereby, having discovered it or found it, to follow it. Because then we reach the completion. This is worthy of another video about this topic, but if I had to put it in sum, the goal of religion, is there a problem? If I had to put it in sum, the goal of religion is just that, to follow God's will to the completion. And what I was going to say is that this whole process can be completed already within ourselves. That's a whole other can of worms. But basically, the practice of faith, living well, following the moral principle of God's will, believing in that, is sort of the expediting of this process, even now. Because there's a fundamental rule that I guess I'll touch on right now. There's a fundamental rule that we can't forget, and God willing, I don't forget in this moment. And I want you to remember this, because it's important. That which will be, in reference to God, already is. That in a statement is the ultimate order. That's the reason for anything we do or strive for or whatever. That which will be already is. God's will already is. So don't waste time in the will be part, so to speak. Just go right for the gold. And that's religion.